All right, with the creative team of Thornwhip Explorations, we have Chase, who's the director, and then we have Michael Hooper, who is the writer, and he's also Max Thornwhip in the movie. He is the Thornwhip in the film, I guess, right?
Next Thornwhip, yeah, yeah,
Oh, so
that's me.
yes, I thought you were Australian, or was it you're playing using the Australian accent, I guess, right?
Yeah, I guess it's just it fools people, you know.
All right,
I can do an Aussie accent, okay, and I just brought it out for the sketch.
it could be a North American ignorance too, right? Where we can't really pinpoint the exact
Exactly.
nuance of the Australian accent. I'm assuming it's good, but if you go to Australia and you pull up that accent, are they going to
Yeah,
laugh you out
I
of the
bet
country?
I bet they're gonna watch it and be like, What's this guy talking about? That's not how we talk, you know."
But from the North Americans, we're just like, yeah,
Exactly.
it's the over the top, accent, I guess, right?
The stereotypical Australian accent, us dumb Americans, we can't tell the difference between the
Yeah.
different types of them, you know.
Okay, so tell me about your coming up with this idea for this screenplay. When did it first come to your brain, and when you started writing it down?
So I think the first time I thought of it was I was watching some show. I can't remember if it was Steve Irwin or Coyote Peterson or something, but it
Mhm.
was one of those like outback like nature shows, and they were talking about like sucking out snake venom,
Yeah.
and I would think it was like some dude got bit on his arm or something, and that's kind of an old, like a wives' tale, like, oh, you always suck the venom out or whatever. So then I was like, just thinking about it, I was like, that would be kind of funny if it was, someplace more, in an erogenous zone, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then I started like, because the way my mind works is it's like it's probably not a good thing, but like I'll think of something and then I just keep going and just going and going. So like when I thought of that, I was like, okay, like what's some other weird things people do to like, save their lives or like when you're in the wild, stuff like that. And I thought of like jellyfish stings. Obviously, people know about peeing on a jellyfish sting. So then I was like, it occurred to me like all these things are just kind of weird, like perverted,
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I think we can play around with that. And then obviously the last few ones are we had to take it up a notch, So
Yeah.
we made those up, obviously. I wouldn't tell anyone to watch that to actually try any of those other things
Yeah.
if they're in the wild, So
We
But
should do
you're
a
all,
prequel on how they figured out how to pee on jellyfish stings. The first guy to try it.
yeah. It's very
well, a
interesting.
lot
I
of
don't
things
know.
are crazy, right? Like the first person to eat a raisin, right? Like
Ex-
you know,
Yep. Like who is
Brave.
first person to drink milk? It's like you could do a
Yeah.
whole like comedy sketch like season based on just like how we got to where we are. Like how do people think of this stuff,
yeah.
The guy who tried milk tried it on the horse first, I heard.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So okay, but you're also parodying these kind of over the top like adventure shows as well, right? And like not to be the downer, but you talk about Steve Irwin, he did die like making a show, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love Steve Irwin. Like
Yeah.
I love
Now
Steve
his
Irwin.
son's doing it, right? So
Yeah,
And his
yeah. No,
daughter, yeah. They're
I
killing it.
love Steve Irwin. It
yeah,
wasn't more so him. It was just more so like in general this kind of. I think what attracted me to and why we chose Australian was just the accent makes anything funny. Like I love the Australian accent. It's like I don't know. It's just such an iconic accent, and I feel like when I'm watching these shows and the people are out in the wild, it's just like it's fun, And I feel like with comedy, the more stuff you can add on top of it, like the funnier it gets. So we just kind of went with it, and it's fun to play around with an Aussie accent. So
yeah.
I think it would have been funny if we did like an American show, but I think we're more
No,
so.
but it gives it that sort of wildness to the show. I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't seem
Yeah,
as
the
wild
outburst.
if you're rocking an Eastern accent or a West Coast accent. You know, you want to
Yeah.
feel like you're in the wild.
No,
And
no,
you
I think it from my generation, it's before your guys' time, but it comes from Crocodile Dundee, the
Yeah.
movie in the 80s, where it's like this crazy cavalier guy was just like, let's go, I'm gonna go like kill some snakes and
Mhm.
basically show you what a real man is, right?
yeah,
And that's sort of what that was the beginning for me, where I was like, yeah, then then all of a sudden the Australian shows of like the Outback and then the beer and
yeah,
all this Australian became popular, right? Where
yeah,
in the Western world, and then it's all about that manliness, right? We're gonna go out and
yeah.
like conquer the world, I guess, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also like because I mean, Australia as a continent is just like has so many different things that can kill you. You know, there's so many different so like it gave us so many options of like what animals to use and like, you know, it's just the outback is so, you know, so dangerous and deadly. So it was I thought it was a good setting to make our mockumentary, you know.
So when do you approach Chase about your script and your idea?
Good question, Chase. I think the first one.
Well, what happened was I met Mike at a shoot. Actually, we shot a short film together. And he goes, "Hey, you know, I got these comedy sketches that I'm thinking about writing." I go, "Oh, sure, I'd like to shoot a comedy sketch." And he sends me, I don't know, 10, 15. Find out that he's got like 400 of them. And so we're going through them, and I go, "Oh, this one's really funny. We should put this in, and we should do
Yeah,
this as soon as possible."
yeah,
And then that was a jump start of making it.
yeah. I
Yeah,
sent him,
yeah,
and he really liked it. He was like, we had just shot another one prior to that. Uh,
two,
actually, another two,
two.
and then we were like, okay, we what are we gonna do next? And then we were like, okay, we got to do Max Thornwhip. Like, we think this one's hilarious. So we actually together we went through it and like rewrote it because there were some things that I think um Chase pointed out that he was like, okay, we should change this. And I think him doing that made it a lot funnier and like punchier.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, yeah, upping the ante. I think that's something that Mike kind of does naturally, but there were a few things that it was like placement of some things. We had like 5 incidents instead of 3. Some of them were a little repetitive, where they were too similar that they could just be cut. And so we went from 5 or 7 to 3. What I felt were 3 strong ones, and the most funny.
Yeah.
So then the making itself, I'm assuming you didn't go to Australia to make the film.
We
I wish,
tagged it Australia.
man. Now we went to well, we were actually gonna go to Malibu and I was looking at like I had no idea you had to get permits for places. So I'm thinking, okay, let's go to Malibu, you know, who cares? They're not those people living in those mansions aren't gonna care that people are on their property, you know? So we were planning on going to Malibu, and then one of my buddies was like, "Hey, you know, you need to pay like $1,500 for like a permit to shoot there." And I was like, "Oh crap! Like I can't do that." So then I reached out to someone, our cinematographer Lucas, and he was like, "Hey, you guys should come to San Diego. That's where he lived
Yeah.
because you can just shoot guerrilla style, and no one cares, you know." And so we were like, "Okay, like let's give it a shot." And we went there and everything was fine, sort of. Chase, you want to
Yeah, sort of.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
we got to the beach, and the beach was like it was beautiful, but you had to walk down this huge hill. You had to park at the top, walk down this huge hill all the way down to the beachfront. But where we had to shoot, you actually had to scale rocks as the tide was coming in because we were there at high tide, and so you get sandwiched between open water with a powerful tide and then this cliff face that was all sharp rock. And we had to go down past the surfers, past the tourists, out to where we could only get like just cliff and nature. And we finally got in the water, and it was beautiful, and it was so much fun. But the second location that he gets bit by the snake is right off the beach. It's the same pathway up, and we couldn't really apply for permits. We actually had someone call the cops on us because you'll see
yeah,
in the outtakes that he's screaming about being bitten and yelling for help,
saying
and
like
he's
save my
pointing at
life.
people. Yes,
Yeah,
my
I was
life, and so
I was
people
yelling
think
like
we're in danger.
save my life, save my life.
Yeah.
And our buddy who was sitting outside the kind of the entrance to these like this wooded area,
Yeah.
he comes in, he's like, guys, shut up, shut up. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
You're
He's like,
ruining a take. Shut up.
some lady just called the cops. I was like, are you
Yeah.
serious? And he's like, yeah, she was asking what's going on down there? What's going on? Like why are you guarding these people? Are they hurt? And so the lady walked up, she called 911, and then we got out of there right as police came. And we just
Yeah, we passed them on the way in, and we were like, "Yeah, we heard screaming. That's crazy. We don't know what happened."
yeah.
Wow, that's yeah. And so okay, so then talk about talk about your co-star. Is it Michael the straight man, I guess, right? The
Oh,
reactor.
Cena, yeah, John. Yeah, Cena,
What so you called him John Cena?
that's funny. I didn't realize that. His name's Cena, but I'm gonna start calling him John Cena now because of that.
That's funny.
No, but he's a buddy of ours, and we were like, we can't have Max's partner be more like bigger or like
Yeah.
more dominant, because then it's like it wouldn't really make sense.
You have to be the leader. You have to be the alpha male, right?
Yeah, especially if I'm making him do all these weird things.
Yeah.
So Cena sent in a self tape. We made him self tape, even though we're his friends, because we're jerks like that. But
we're like, you're perfect for the role, but you should still self tape.
Yeah, exactly. And he sent in a great self tape, and he honestly, I feel like his reactions were everything that made it funny. Like his reactions to everything was what made it, like, in my opinion.
Yeah,
like,
100%. Well, it's that's not an easy role, right? Like playing in the
Yeah.
comedy duel, you're the straight man, you're the reactor, right? So
Exactly, yeah. And he really killed it with his just being able to express so much without actually having much dialogue at all.
yeah, because he wants to be part of like let's take this like we're in reality here, right? You like that's why your film works, because you're kind of it's over the top, but you're kind of basing it in your in reality. So imagine this guy wants to be part of the show, and he wants to be he wants to be a star, and then like you're telling him all these crazy things he's got to do, right? And it's like, oh my god, like what does it take to be a success, right? So
yeah, he's just
Daniel
trying.
Cruz.
He just wants to be on the show, but
he
now
wants to be on the show, right? Like
poor guy. Poor guy.
so he was a friend of yours, but you wanted him to. You had to audition to be in the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, him and the other guy, Michael Sackman, who is another funny guy that I think Michael knew. I don't think I knew him, but he does stand up and he's in comedy, and he did. I didn't know that he was going to do a character when Cena came on. He kind of played, took a lot of himself into that. He was playing this kind of normal guy, and Michael Sackman, who played the boom op at the very end, it became John's next partner. That character was totally different from Michael, and I didn't know that, and we didn't really talk about it, but it worked so well that he played this kind of dingy guy with his jaw hanging out when he's holding the boom mic. It was hilarious. I couldn't believe that he pulled that out.
He was great. He was great, and we actually had him audition for John too, and a few other people, and we narrowed it down to Michael and then Cena, but more so just because, like, Cena was he kind of like looks a lot smaller than me.
He also looks different because Michael's also like a tall blonde white guy. So I didn't want two of Mike running around, literally two Michaels running around next to each other looking the same.
And Michael Sackman, the other Michael, like we liked his other self tape so much. We were like, okay, we got to get him in this role, because we like him.
So just to rehash, the guy who plays John, his name is Cena.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Cena. Yeah. He's gonna get a kick out of that. Can't wait.
We couldn't see him the whole time. He was invisible.
Yeah, he was invisible.
You can't. That's a good one. See,
I was like, Chase the whole time. Is like, yo, he's like, where'd Cena go? Cena, get in the shot. We can't see you.
See, the thing is, though, only a quarter of the audience who's listening right now will get that joke right now. But I get it. So,
Yeah.
so he's a wrestler who basically has like a catchphrase, "You can't see me," right? So, all right, I'm just giving
Yeah,
people
yeah.
a reference to it. One of those over, yeah. Now he's a big movie star, right? So
Yeah.
Now, yeah. Barbie. He was a merman in Barbie for
Mermaid and
5 minutes.
Barbie,
That
but
was
he's
super
like all
cool.
these movies coming out. He was in the Fast and Furious movies, right?
Mhm.
So
Oh yeah.
Yep.
yeah,
Legend.
Danica he's got is the next
Legend,
one.
man.
yeah. We'll see him in WrestleMania this year.
Yep.
Mm.
Or
So
not see him. I don't know.
yeah, don't worry, he'll
He's
be
always
there.
on.
The Rock will be there, and so will John Cena is going to be there because the Rock's going to be there. So, anyways, so basically, so you're editing the film. So Chase, are you always aware that they had like that the stock because you have a lot of stock footage in the film, right? So kind of
Yeah.
puts it all together. When you're filming are you always aware that that's what you're going to do in the edit? Like you're going to kind
Yeah.
of put that.
Yeah. I'm very familiar with the style of the show. So we knew going in that we were going to have to do a lot of B-roll. We tried to capture some of our own, but it didn't work as well as some that the editor found. And it was actually, in terms of the style of the show, it was our cinematographer's idea in a way. He and I talked about multi-camera shoots and, geez, are we going to have to bring like 3 guys and put them in the water? Are we going to have 3 cameras? And so I guess he'd actually done this before, and he proposed that we just do different takes. So we did like maybe 2, 3 takes where each camera was an A camera, a B camera, and a C camera. So they always had a place to look, and so they were referencing uh, a fictionary
Yeah,
A camera when they were shooting the B camera and whatever. So we were able to get this sort of 3 camera setup with 1 camera over 4, 5, 6 takes, and we had ourselves a reality show at that point too.
it sounds complicated, but you pulled it off.
It actually wasn't that complicated, but it was easy. We would do like 2 takes. So camera A is the main camera, and then we'll do like this is camera B, 2 takes, and this is camera C, 2 takes, and
It was
it was fun. And we
complicated to
actually flew.
me. It was complicated to me, but apparently, like
Oh,
for him, it was
yeah,
cool. I,
yeah.
I didn't know
My
what was
bad.
going on. They were like, "All
We
right,
were
we
like,
got
you're
to
supposed to
shoot it."
look. Yeah, look at the
I
B
was like,
camera
"All
on this
right."
take, and he's like, where the hell's the B camera?
Yeah.
And where did you get the stuff? Where did you get the stock footage? You just found it, like bought it somewhere, or
Yeah, our
Yeah,
editor, he's got access to all these stock websites and stuff. So we were stoked. I mean, it looks great. It looks
yeah,
professional, you know?
yeah. He found good stuff.
so you guys are both based in Los Angeles. Chase, I was reading your bio. You're from Las Vegas. Michael, where are you from
Yeah.
originally?
I'm from Walnut Creek. It's this little town up in the North Bay area. Or sorry, East Bay area.
Okay,
Um, so like kind of like 30 minutes east of San Francisco.
so you're California, born and raised, but you're from the northern section, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Which is a whole different. It's completely different than Southern California. If you're from California, you get
Yeah,
it. You know.
yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, the weather's completely different too, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
so you came to Los Angeles to be an actor.
Yeah, I came to LA. I was at school at UC Davis. During COVID, I took some time off and like away from school, and then I moved down to LA, and I was like, I'm gonna be an actor. And then about a year in, I started writing. Didn't really know what to do with. I just kind of had to like get ideas onto paper. I don't know. It was like a compulsion, you know.
Yep.
And then I met Chase, and Chase was like, "Hey, let's shoot these," and we've been shooting them ever since.
Yeah. And so
Yeah, he's a
Chase,
phenomenal writer.
yeah, no, it's very funny. And like
Oh,
it's
I appreciate
like there's a certain nuance to the script. So if it's done a little bit, the tone's a little bit off, it doesn't work, right? Like it's gotta
Yeah,
have that, there's a certain lane that you're in that makes it. It's like I said, you're in reality, but it's a little bit, it's like a tinge over the top, but it's not too much over the top that makes it,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
I'm sure
yeah,
you did different takes, and I'm sure in editing you kind of like massaged it a little bit. How was
yeah,
yeah,
that process?
yeah,
yeah. Well, we did. So the thing about directing comedy, it's like, uh, it's really just kind of keeping the train on the tracks a little bit, and all you have to do is find the funny guys and point the camera at them, and they do their thing. And if they go too big, I mean, you let them go big for a take or two, but then you get the opposite just in case. And yeah, we were trying to really walk a line between is it too over the top or is it not funny enough? And a lot of the takes that we got, it seemed like everybody was really on the same page as to how big we can go before it's too much. And so it was actually pretty easy to cut for that reason. Everybody gave us a lot of really great takes.
Yeah, and I was gonna say too, like Chase is really good at like stepping back and like seeing the overall like it's stuff that like actors can't see unless they remove themselves. And like Chase is really good at telling us like, okay, you're going too big, or I want you to
Mhm.
hit your mark right here. So it helped having him. I mean, it was great.
Yeah, because that's also part of it is that you have to build in. That was initially part of the notes of the script was that you have to start kind of small and seemingly innocent, and then we're going to
Yep.
go to a larger place. And so if they're going too big in the opening, then we've got nowhere to go by the end of it. And
Yeah,
so we have them do the over the top takes in the beginning, knowing maybe they just need to get it out, or we'll discover something that's funny and that's new and usable that we could maybe shape. But yeah, for the most part, it was start small and have a big finish.
Gotcha. So look, I'm on your IMDb page, but everything's upcoming for you. It seems like you just like did a bunch of films in the last like 5, 6 months.
yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
myself.
Chase's or mine?
Cases, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we have. Well, I just shot 4 with Mike, and then I've got
I didn't update. We
this.
didn't update them on
We didn't update him.
IMDb. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got one that's just about done. We just signed our distribution deal, and that's going to be going out shortly. I think within the next 30 days, we'll have a complete film that's ready to market.
Wow. So you're like, so basically you're like, you guys are like doing on your way, or you guys are just you're getting it all out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's the goal. I mean, otherwise, why do it?
Yeah.
Do it for yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
I
I
feel
guess,
like,
but
yeah, like I think Chase and I, like when we first met, we both like I realized Chase kind of had the same mindset that I had, which is like
mm,
stop waiting around and just start creating stuff on your own, because I
yeah,
really didn't like wait. Like I have an agent and manager and they're great, but
Yep.
a lot of being an actor is just waiting for stuff to come to you.
Mhm.
Uh, but when I met Chase, he was just as hungry to just like create as I was, and we were like, let's start doing it, get it done.
I don't like waiting for people, waiting for opportunities. It's so difficult. I'm just sitting here. I need to go make something, and I think you can make something out of if you have the opportunity to make something out of yourself and just give yourself the opportunity, which is what Mike did. To be honest with you, he was an actor who wanted roles, so he wrote them. I mean, duh. And so we have a lot of the same aspirations as well. Like we want really long and successful careers, and so we know that we need to take control of it, do it ourselves.
Gotcha. And so, Michael, you come from like your bio, you come from like a sports background, I guess, right? Like you're that's sort of like it's interesting because a lot of actors come from that world, right? Where they don't really like a lot of people like you weren't in the theater in high school. I'm generalizing. You were on the field playing sports.
Correct. Yeah, correct. Which was a little, it was a little kind of nerve wracking coming to LA, and I had never really had acting experience at all. I was in one play in fourth grade. That was my only acting experience, but that was very like profound experience for me. It kind of gave me this like hunger for you know, performance. So when I decided to come to LA, I didn't know anything. I just played football and baseball in high school, and then I played baseball in college. And I was like, all right, well, this is just another. I'm gonna treat this like another sport, you know?
Yeah. Did you know
'Cause-
like that like you play college baseball, so you must be good, right? So, but did you know
Okay.
that like when did you decide like, hey, I'm not gonna make it into I'm assuming you had this moment of clarity where you're not gonna make it to the majors and you kind of stopped.
Yeah, my dad was a professional baseball
Oh,
player.
really?
Played like double A. Was I think he never made it to the big leagues, but he made it to double A, which is still
Amazing.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
My brother was also a college baseball player, played professionally overseas for I think like 2 or 3 years. And then my grandpa was a college baseball player at UC Berkeley. So like I come from this long line of athletes. So I always thought like, okay, I need to be an athlete. I need to be as successful as my family was. Um, and I played 2 years at junior college, and then I got recruited to play at this Division II up north. I got there and I was a head case. I would get really in my head. I couldn't make throws accurate, and I was not playing very well. And it kind of just hit me. I was like, I don't even know if I really want to do this anymore. Like I talked with the coach, and he was like, "Hey man, look, like you're you're not playing very well, and it doesn't seem like you're having fun." I was like, honestly, I'm not. So I dropped out, transferred schools, and then when COVID hit, I was just like, I need to I want to do something. I feel like what I'm doing, I had no direction, and then
Yeah.
I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to LA, and that was kind of that's how I'm here. That's how I ended up here.
And you just started writing. That's kind of amazing. That's interesting. That's a great story. So
Yeah, it's weird where life takes you. You know.
yeah. But if you look at like a lot of successful actors, they have like not stories like they not similar stories, but they have like athletic. David Duchovny comes to mind, where like he played like in the minors, and then he had no acting experience, and he's like, I'm going to be an actor, right? So it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
there's the performance repetition aspect to it, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think just the mindset of when you're an athlete and you're competing against not just the other teams you're playing, but against your own teammates for a starting position and
Yeah,
whatnot. I feel like you got to apply like that's the same mindset as like a celebrity actor, Jake Gyllenhaal, Leonardo DiCaprio, because they're competing against millions of people
yeah,
and they have to better themselves or else they're not gonna be able to live, they're not gonna make money, they're not gonna get roles. So you gotta kind of have that edge, like, all right, I'm gonna work my ass off and I'm gonna be the best person there is,
yeah.
I'm gonna get this role. So it's very similar mindset of competitiveness, in my
It's the
opinion.
DNA of confidence, like these certain like we all know their names, like they just have this DNA where like they're gonna win. They're gonna win. They're gonna like I don't know. You can't even. It's not nothing tangible. You can't even explain it. They just like. But you
Yeah,
when you're in that moment, there's always that doubt, especially baseball, right? Because it's such a cerebral game where like
yeah, yeah,
you know what I
exactly.
mean?
It's totally a head game. And that's what acting is. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
it's just a mental, like, it's you
Hitting
against your,
and acting is very similar, right? Because you got to get out of your head. You got to
yeah,
like
yes,
you
exactly,
gotta you
100%.
gotta know your fundamentals, right? You gotta know the fundamentals, but you gotta get out of your head. You gotta be in your body, right?
Because when you're up at the plate and the count is 3-2, bases are loaded, and there's 2 outs, you're gonna be nervous, but luckily you took 100 swings at batting practice
Yeah.
the day before. And if you're on a Scorsese set or a Chase Korzep
Yeah, I was
set,
gonna say it,
five
Chase.
years
Yeah.
from now, like, and you're nervous, Chase is yelling at you like he normally does, and
Yeah.
he's spanking you. I'm kidding,
Yeah,
but
I'm speaking.
you're
Yeah.
gonna want those fundamentals that you
Yeah.
work so hard to get. So
100%. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of similarities to it. There's a good one man play about it too, right?
mhm.
Just an
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
So, but Chase, you come from Vegas. I'm assuming
I-
you were, yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, and I don't yell at actors.
I was kidding about that.
No, I know, no. Yeah, I come from Vegas. I was actually in high school. I was training to go into the Navy. That was my life's path at that time. I was training really hard to
Oh,
do SEAL
sorry.
stuff. So I was doing weapons training, swim training, physical training. I was taking what was it called, tutors for my ASVAB, which I'm very proud of. Scored pretty high on that because I went in and then I was on some medication, I guess, for acne that my mother wanted me to get, and I didn't want to at the time, but I'm kind of glad that I did. And they pushed my ship out date by 9 months or something, and I figured, all right, I guess I'll go to college. And I guessed that I like movies, so I went to the film school at UNLV. And in your first year, and quite honestly, all 4 years, you're supposed to really explore and see what you like, see what you do. But honestly, from like day one, I knew immediately I wanted to direct. That seemed like the job description was the most accurate to who I was and what I was most interested in doing. It also felt like something I fell very naturally into. That was actually, and she's walking right by me, it was where I met my wife the first week of college. Been together. Yeah, we just got married. Um, and so after college, I knew a lot of people that stayed in Las Vegas, and they worked commercially, but I didn't see a future in Las Vegas for me for features or for shorts. There's studios there that make features and shorts, but they weren't the quality of features that I wanted to make. And I knew that I had to surround myself with people who had similar goals and wanted to work at a certain level so that I could meet that. Vegas wasn't there. So I moved to LA. My aunt let me stay with her for the first 6 months. And then my fiance at the time had moved out with me. We moved to Hollywood. And that is through her, actually, that I met Mike.
And so you never went, like she said, you were delayed 9 months, but you never went to, you never went, you never shipped out, I guess, right?
No, I never looked back. No, they said 9 months, and I was like, I'm not waiting 9 months. Like, you're going to take me now, like everybody else, or I don't know. Maybe we'll reevaluate in 9 months. But I fell in love with the film program, and I fell in love with film, and I fell in love with being a director in movies. And I'd always watched movies growing up. I was in film school classes in high school. They didn't really mean anything. It was a lot of like trivia stuff, and so I don't know. I had pretty good interest in it, but I never looked back. I got in there, and I was like, this is it.
It's interesting. You guys kind of have similar experiences where you're in one lane in your path, and then you're like, then something shifted for you, and then you end up going in this direction, which is, it's interesting because it's like, but you did it like in your 20s, it seems like. So
Yeah.
My theory is like I was always drawn towards this, and my struggles with baseball once I got to the Division II college
yeah,
was it was kind of telling me subconsciously this isn't the right way to go. And I don't know, it's weird. It's like I've always felt drawn to entertainment, whether it's music, like acting,
yeah.
anything like that. Like I just love it. It just like it's the thing I love the most. And I think you know the universe was telling me you got to go down to do this before you're 70 years old, and you're looking back and you're like, why didn't you just go for it?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, well,
good.
that's the thing. Also, you got to pick a lane, and it's the lane that you're in. You hit a wall, and you're not willing to scale that wall. Then it's not for you. And I think that Mike and I both found that the path that we were in, we hit a wall, and we were like, "This is not for us, dude."
Yeah,
But now we're hitting walls here, and we're
I was
like, "Oh,
gonna
let's
say, like,
scale them.
yeah,
Let's scale them and
there's
and move
gonna
on."
just how the industry works. There's gonna be multiple walls.
No
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
It doesn't
I
matter
thought
who you are, right? So
I
yeah,
thought I was gonna be in the next Scorsese movie next week.
even
Damn.
Yeah,
Scorsese's
yeah.
had many walls, right? So
Yes,
No, that's very
absolutely.
true. Especially with the strike and everything like
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
I
COVID,
mean,
right?
yeah,
So
COVID,
COVID.
exactly. It's and plus I don't even want to mention how many times I've been rejected
of
from a
course,
audition. So,
yeah.
but it comes with it.
Remember when it's these auditions, it's like there's so many variables. You haven't been rejected. It's just that there's so many different variables. They didn't want a blonde guy. They didn't want the co-star who was, I mean, there's like it's like one like it's all
I
randomness.
reminded them of an ex-boyfriend who
Yeah.
cheated on them or something.
So many, no, it's just so much randomness. It's like luck and not like, you know what I mean? Luck and
Yeah.
randomness. Even every successful actor will even tell you that. There's like how they got to as soon as they get their foot in the door, then it's like, then they can stay. That's when you can tell talent is there. But it's
Exactly.
like that the randomness that takes place in this industry is crazy. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
all right, guys, it was a pleasure to show your film here. I hope you enjoyed the experience so far, and I want to see what you guys do next. I want to see other films.
I
Yeah. Thanks
really
for having us.
appreciate that, man. This was awesome. Like this was a great film festival, like podcasts, reviews. Like this is amazing, man.
Cool. Oh, before we leave you just brought it up. What did you guys think about the audience comment video that we sent you? What did you think of what they had to say about your film?
Ooh.
I
Some of
loved
them were kind of
it.
out there.
No, it was we loved it, but like there were some comments where like I was like, dang, like I I think someone mentioned like it being good for like a family, but I don't think they meant like like younger kids. They probably meant
No,
like,
they said kids would love this, their
but
parents would
yeah,
love
like
this. And
I
we
don't
were
know, but
thinking, I don't know.
I was like, I don't know, it's a little dirty, but it all depends on like the family
Yeah.
watching. But it was great, man. The audience, we loved it. They were all really
Yeah, it was cool.
supportive, and it's good. It's a good ego boost,
Yeah.
as if my
100%.
ego needed to get boosted anymore, but
And here I thought that you're Australian all along. So
Mhm.
Hey, I want to say something too. You look like Q from Impractical Jokers.
Q from Impractical Jokers.
Yeah, have you ever seen that show?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
dude,
Yes,
he's
yeah. Q is
hilarious.
hilarious. Yeah, it's a great
Yeah.
show.
Okay. So he's a handsome devil or what?
Yeah,
is
he
actually.
he used to be a firefighter. He's probably one of the funniest, him and Joe.
Really?
But
I'm looking at this guy. I'm a little bit offended right now, but okay.
no.
Don't be offended.
He's a good looking dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He's got 2 million followers on Instagram. So
Boom.
Yeah.
There you go.
all right. All right, man. All right, guys. Let's talk again when you guys make your next film.
Absolutely.
thank you.
Man.
All right.
Pleasure meeting you.